Hello. Welcome. Oh, I gained a follower. Don't.
Very nice.
That must be Bradley that followed me. Not Jonathan Bradley, not our teacher.
Oh, not Mr. Bradley
Not
himself.
Mr. Bradley. No. Would be cool if he did.
That'd be amazing.
But I have a friend in the film industry who's also named Bradley, but that's actually his first name, not his last name, which is. I was at first very confused when I first heard that. I was like, wait. So there's a Mr. Bradley who has a last name, and then there's a Bradley who has it as a first name. Oh boy. All right, let me just. Oh god. Add that little raindrop sound in the background. Okay, and let me start the stream. Here we go. Told some people that I'm live, shared it on some Discord servers that I'm live. Oh yeah, Alex, I managed to get affiliated on Twitch now.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. That was one hell of a grind. Like the requirements was that I stream. I believe it was like stream for like 7 days.
Right?
No. It was definitely more than that, but like 15 days, like stream 15 different days within a month, gain like certain amount of hours, like over 30 hours, and then get like an average of 3 viewers for the whole month. That's the only part that I struggled with was the average viewer amount.
Okay.
It was always like 2.6, and I was like, come on, just go up already. I don't. It's so close. But after a while, I started to have like people come in, and it was like 5 and 10 people watching, and then it jumped into like 3 average, and I was like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do this with ya. Here you go. Although the delay from what's happening now to the stream itself is only 2 seconds, so I'm not sure if I need to stream it to you. You can like see it on what I read on the screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna say welcome to Fluff, and welcome to some more SCP reading. We have reached the 800th of the SCP. We're almost done with the first 1,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's. You want to know how many there are, Alex?
Oh god, I think they're not reusing the numbers, are they? I thought they were. Or
no, like some SCPs got deleted and then like replaced. But,
yeah.
But no, like they don't reuse the numbers.
Okay, is it like 3,000s now? 5,000s?
It's 7,000 now.
Yes.
Yes. The funny thing is, like, I saw like the explosion from 5,000 to 7,000. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, like I was like, yeah, it makes sense. A lot of people must have been bored and just decided to start writing again.
Crack out a couple more.
I was reading last week. I was reading the SCP-780s. And I posted the YouTube video on Twitter, and then one of the writers from those actually saw the video and was like, "Hey, one of them is mine." And they explained to me a question I had, and I was really stoked that I just by pure coincidence bumped into one of them.
Pretty cool.
Yes, but I'm gonna start reading now. So. SCP-800 and Eastern History. Okay, we have a medium length one. The rating is pretty decent. I like the picture here. SCP-800 in 1963 as SCP-800-8. Okay. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-800 is currently contained in a 50 centimeters by times 200 centimeters times 2 centimeters hermetically sealed glass case. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and memetic are to be in place at all times, according to standard operating procedure. No maintenance is necessary on SCP-800 itself, despite its apparent age, but its case is to be cleaned of dirt and dust every 6 days. No paint, ink, other writing materials, or any staining fluids are to come into contact with SCP-800 except under controlled testing conditions and with prior O5 level approval. Okay. That's a lot of explosives that they have ready to go off.
Interesting, yeah. Chemical, biological, and mimetic.
Yeah.
Oof.
Or wait, positive action defense. So I'm not sure what a mimetic positive action defense is.
I know that mimetics is like evolution-based stuff. Hold on, let me take a look.
All right.
Here, mimetics is the study of information and culture based on the anthology with Darwinian evolution. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
What does it say? Mimetic action, post-action defenses. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, that's how it's contained. Definitely very caution. A lot of caution happening here. Description. SCP-800 is a 42 centimeters times 166 centimeter East Asian paper scroll painting of variable style and subject. Radioisotopic, dating as determined that it dates from the mid-19th century. SCP-800 currently displays as an ink painting of two Korean warriors placed above one another, the upper arm with a bow and the lower arm with a Sangyeomon, well, I can't even say that, Sangyeom style sword. And I'm going to look that up real quick. Hey, yo, welcome to Fluff, and I believe that's Bradley. It's one of these swords. Okay.
Chinese straight sword.
Yes. Okay. The painting style resembles 17th century Joseon dynasty art, despite SCP-800's paper scroll being more common in Japanese or Chinese painting. According to information gained from SCP-800's previous custodians, as well as an investigation of a number of photographic records, the scene depicted on SCP-800 has been observed to spontaneously take 12 distinct forms since the beginning of the 20th century. It is theorized that SCP-800 has changed to depict symbolic representation of every major armed conflict in East Asia, as well as a number of armed conflicts in Indochina and one in Central Asia. It is Bradley. Hey, welcome. We just started the stream, so you haven't missed much. East Asia as well as Central Asia. As there is no major Asian armed conflict at the present time, currently the SCP appears to represent the tension between the two Koreas as an important flashpoint for military action. Oh. Okay, interesting. The mechanism by which SCP-800 changes is unknown, and no changes have been recorded electronically despite constant surveillance of SCP-800 since it entered Foundation custody in 1979. SCP-800 has always been observed as an ink painting, usually in Japanese or Chinese style. Korean-style paintings have also been observed, including SCP-800's current appearance as mentioned previously. The era of painting does not correspond to SCP-800's observed age, with painting styles observed from the 15th century Ming Dynasty to contemporary East Asian art. Nations are commonly represented as national animals such as the Chinese dragon, bear, presumably representing Russia, or eagle, presumably representing the United States. However, the symbolism in SCP-800 is often subtle, and nations may often be represented by plants, landscapes, or people. For a detailed list of SCP-800's manifestations, see Addendum 1, which we have down here waiting for us. SCP-800 may be marked or damaged by normal means. However, any stains on the painting disappear after a number of days. The paper SCP-800 appears on may be torn, but tears in the painting likewise regenerate after some days. It is possible to alter the content of SCP-800 semi-permanently by using identical materials and painting in a similar style to that of SCP-800's current incarnation. However, after the event of Experiment 1, all proposed alterations to SCP-800 require all 5-level approval. See Addendum 2 for more information. You know what I imagine? This might this might not be at all the case, but I imagine somebody saw a modern conflict and just drew something ridiculous on it, and then something in real life that popped up. SCP-800 was retrieved in January 1979 from an antique shop in the city of Blank, in the southeast of the Republic of Korea. The proprietor, one Mr. Blank Blank M. Blank, claimed to have a magic painting which altered its appearance over the years. At the time, it displayed its present appearance. It was discovered one chance by Dr. Blank, who was skeptical of its owner's claims and only wished to purchase it for personal use. However, Dr. Blank noticed that it possessed at least some extra normal properties by accidentally staining it with ink. Then, noticing the stain had disappeared after a period of 2 days, upon Foundation examination, it was determined to be of no SCP level of significance and put in storage at Site Blank. It attained SCP classification in mid-1979 at the beginning of the Sino-Vietnamese border war, when it changed overnight to an 18th century Qing dynasty painting of a Chinese dragon flying over the rice paddies, SCP-10, okay. After this event, Foundation staff tracked down Mr. M. Blank for interrogation. It was revealed that the painting had been in his family since the beginning of the 20th century, when his grandfather purchased it from a merchant in Shanghai. As Mr. M. Blank was the only known source of information on SCP-800 and its prior appearances, he was recruited as a research assistant and was SCP-800's caretaker until 2007, when he died of natural causes. Dr. Major subsequently took responsibility for SCP-800's custody, and now we have Addendum 1, a partial list of all known incarnations of SCP-800 follows, along with historical events they are believed to correspond to, save a small number of photos, one of which may be seen above. All descriptions before 1977 are obtained by word of mouth from Mr. M. Blank or his acquaintances. Their accuracy may therefore be somewhat suspect. So we have -1, presumably 1904 or 1905, unknown style, possibly Japanese, allegedly a bear struggling in the water with a sun overhead. Information on -1 is limited as Mr. M. Blank only recalled his elderly grandmother repeatedly mentioning a painting of this description hanging in the house when she was young. Presumably depicts the Russo-Japanese War. -2, 1905 1936 no information available. -3, 1936 1941 unknown style, allegedly a dragon surrounded by cherry blossoms, presumably depicts the Second Sino-Japanese War. 1941 to 1945, Chinese style of unknown era, allegedly an eagle perched on a mountain with a dragon and rising water beneath, presumably depicts the East Asian theater of World War II. Mr. M claimed the canvas went temporarily blank in mid-1945. This may correspond to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. -5, 1945, 1950, Chinese style, possibly of early Qing dynasty, 2 dragons fighting. The first incarnation of SCP-800 observed in full by Mr. M. Blank, presumably depicts the Chinese Civil War. -6, 1950, 1953, Korean style, possibly of Goryeo dynasty. I hope that's how you say it. I have no idea. -6 reported to change subtly numerous times over the period. Basic scene depicted was 2 Korean warriors similar to those in -12. SCP-800's current appearance, but with an eagle and at times a Chinese dragon visible, presumably depicts the Korean War. -7, 1953, 1959, apparently similar to current description. -8, 1959, 1975, 18th century, Qing dynasty style, initially eagle perched alone on tree, see attached image, subsequently transformed into flying eagle with trees and human figures in conical hats, presumably depicts the Vietnam War. Dash 9, 1975, 1979. Unknown style of painting resembling Khmer stone carving, data expunged. Dash 10, 1979, 15th century Ming Dynasty style, Chinese dragon flying over rice paddies, presumably depicts the Sino-Vietnamese border war. Dash 11, 1989, modern Japanese style bear surrounded by small humanoid figures armed with spears, with small eagle overhead, possibly depicts the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. If true, this would be SB-800's only representation of a Central Asian conflict to date. And Dash 12, 1989, present, see current description. Addendum 2, after the events of Experiment 1, SB-800 has been upgraded to Euclid class and further experimentation forbidden without O5 level approval. And here we go, Experiment 1. To date, the first and only alteration testing carried out on SB-800 on the 22nd, 5th, 2000 blank. SB-800 in its current form of Dash 12 was altered using ink and brush by Foundation staff member experienced in modern reproduction of Joseon Dynasty painting. Addition consisted of a quiver of arrows on back of uppermost figure wielding bow. No effects were initially noted apart from the fact that all the paint remained for an unusually long number of days. 3 days later, on the 25th, 5th, 2000 blank, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea did expunged. It is unknown whether this event was connected to Experiment 1. However, further experimentation has been suspended indefinitely. SB-800 was restored to its original state by Foundation staff.
Ah, missiles.
Yes. Oh, the Foundation might have accidentally involved themselves in this. Addendum dash one. Well, this might be useful if we ever have reason to destabilize the entire region. Shame it's anomalous. It'd look rather nice in my office. Dr. Major.
Interesting.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
That's an interesting start. Man, the idea of just looking at a painting and it just morphs into this new conflict going on in Asia. And
yeah, it'd be an interesting painting, but because you can alter it and change.
Is it basically like a Asian odd Death Note?
Maybe, but you can't really single out specific people. You can alter the course of history, maybe. But
true.
Only the present, I would assume, not the past or future.
Yeah. Basically, whatever is currently happening, you can alter that a little bit.
Yeah.
It depends what you draw and what. At the end, it depends what what the painting interprets your drawing, because it was a bow and arrow, and now became missiles. So I wonder what would happen if you add an animal that you think represents a country, and if that would mean the country would get involved, or if or the complete opposite country gets involved, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that animal doesn't mean what I think it means.
Who knows?
Well, that was the first one. Now we have SCP-801 7 furs. It's a lower rated one. Let's see here. Another Euclid. All iterations of SCP-801 are to be kept in a metal locker on Foundation grounds. Access to SCP-801 for testing purposes is granted to any personnel level 2 and above. All articles of SCP-801 should be dry cleaned after testing. No further containment procedures aside from standard security are required. Description: SCP-801 is a collection of 7 articles of fur clothing found inside a hunting lodge in the Adirondack Mountains. Attempts to trace the owner of the lodge were unsuccessful, though locals insisted that they had seen lights and heard gunshots in the area until recently. Foundation personnel discovered no further evidence of recent occupation. SCP-801 includes 1 mink fur coat, -1, 1 raccoon fur coat, -2, 1 wolf fur coat, -3, 1 squirrel fur coat, -4. I'm pretty sure you're happy with that one, Alex.
Yeah, you bet.
1 sable fur coat, -5. Each coat is a full body length and includes a hood. Coats are lined with the same black silk, and none show any tag or washing instruction despite appearing to be machine assembled. Accompanying the coats are 1 pair of rabbit skin mittens -6 and 1 pair of elk skin shoes -7. Gloves are lined in silk, shoes in leather. As with the coats, both appear machine assembled and bear no tags or marks of ownership. The Foundation was called to the site after numerous reports of repeated anomalous animal attacks in the area. Animals were reported to be unusually close to human dwellings and to be abnormally aggressive considering the species involved. Likewise, behavior after captivity was not consistent with the norm. Data expunged. Personnel found SCP-801 lying on the floor of the lodge along with numerous other sets of normal articles of clothing. Donning any article of SCP-801 begins a rapid change in the wearer. Subject begins by doubling over in pain as internal changes start, describing variously as excruciating, burning, and like my redacted organs are liquefying and data expunged. Subjects soon, within 2 minutes, lose both coherent speech and the ability to stand upright. Subject vocalization begin to become less human and more animal as external changes become apparent according to which article of clothing it's worn. Although subject may manage to remove the clothing before the stage, no halt in the process takes place. Characteristic is the lengthening of the front of the face into a snout or muzzle, lengthening of the arch of the foot and of the tailbone. 3 minutes into the transition, subject demonstrates signs of extreme pain and fatigue. At this stage, subject begins prodigious vomiting, apparently shedding excess mass and tissue are needing for the new form. What mass cannot be expelled in this manner enters into an advanced state of cellular deterioration and falls away from the main body. At minute 5, the subject resembles its new form almost entirely. Extreme hair growth begins over the body, apparently interfering with the subject's upper dermal layers and resulting in expelling much blood from the body along with the newly grown hair. Upon completion of transition, subject will be extremely fatigued but not docile, and care should be taken when caging or terminating test subjects. All subjects thus far have shown extreme and relentless aggression and resistance to pain. When caged and lacking to exterior targets, subject will bite and scratch themselves far past the point of bleeding. One raccoon transition D-class was found to have gnawed through the contents of its own stomach, while another subject data expunged. It is recommended that all subjects may be terminated following testing and examination. Now, Alex, I'm just going to ask you very kindly, do not put this in our D&D campaign.
Don't promise.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to hear a thing of like, man, you got this really nice fur that looks like it's made out of squirrel. Do you want to wear it? I'm like, no.
No.
Maybe Ola will wear it, and then we
Oh boy.
Ugh. Addendum. Testing the codes on non-human species has yielded mixed results. Placing an ordinary animal inside a code made from its own species, in example placing a raccoon inside -2, or placing the same subject in the same code twice has no effect. However, when placing ordinary animals or sedated transitioned subjects inside a code made from different animals, results in subject transitioning normally for the first 3 minutes before aborting. Resultant subjects are often missing fur or limbs, or otherwise have limbs partially transitioned. In addition, once mass pressure started, subjects may have organs reducted and are unable to support life functions. Most subjects do not live through this process. Addendum 2. Attempting to transition a subject wearing multiple articles such as -1 and -6 and or -7 functions similarly to putting on one species inside a non-coincident coat. However, in this case, the transition stops earlier, leaving the subject at least partially conscious, but with partially transitioned limbs, data expunged, etc. As these subjects have exhibited the same violent tendencies as those fully transitioned, it is recommended that they be terminated immediately. No attempts at communication should be made. And that was 7 furs.
Oh.
So
some clothing that turns you into the animal of choice.
But very agonizingly.
Yeah, not in a fun way.
Yeah, it's not like a shape-shifting thing, which is like, your body just changes.
Yep.
And then you're like, I'm dog. No, it's apparently like it seems very brutal since like you're also like you basically buff up a lot of your own blood and fat intake. Just to like, I guess just to like not
to make room. I mean, if the animal's smaller than you got to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah, right. Ooh. That must be messy to clean up.
Yeah.
Every time they test it, it's just blood and probably gore as well. Like some organs gets like shot out probably as well of your body.
Yeah, viscera.
Ugh. Well, SCP-802 musical tank.
Musical tank.
Musical tank.
Was it gonna shoot orchestra music at us?
It just shoots like music notes, and every time it hits something, it just this loud ass guitar string pops out. Just like. Object class Euclid. We have a lot of Euclids right now. 3 in a row. A security perimeter must be maintained at a 15-kilometer radius around SCP-802's territory. That's a lot. That's a big radius. Due to the large area needed to be covered and the isolated nature of SCP-802's territory, warning signs, fences, automated security systems, and regular patrols should be sufficient to prevent unauthorized intrusion. No fewer than 3 lines of containment must be maintained within the perimeter of all times. These lines must consist of outer perimeter, basic fences, trenches, and concrete and steel vehicle obstacles. Regular patrols with anti-tank weaponry equipped. Intermediate perimeter, additional anti-tank trenches and obstacles. Perimeter must also be secure with an unbroken line of anti-tank mines. Inner perimeter must be secure with an unbroken line of dragon teeth anti-tank obstacles constructed out of reinforced concrete. Additional anti-tank mines must be added. Road access to SCP-802's territory is prohibited. The only allowable modes of transportation into the perimeter are either by foot or by air. Under no circumstances are the perimeter defenses to be breached or compromised to allow vehicle access. Only level 3 personnel or higher are allowed within the perimeter. Any unauthorized access can and will result in immediate termination. Description: SCP-802 appears to be a World War II era Renault Char B1 medium battle tank. However, unlike regular tanks, SCP-802 is able to operate on its own. It is unknown whether SCP-802 is sapient or possesses any sort of intelligence at all, but it is clear through long-range infrared scans and constant surveillance that SCP-802 has no physical crew manning it. The tank itself, while operational, is in incredibly poor condition. While personnel have been unable to get close enough to properly examine it, it is clear that it is heavily damaged. The top turret is completely missing, its hull weapon is non-operational, the treads are nearly falling off, and the hull is pitted and worn with age and battle damage. However, it is still capable of operation beyond its projected performance specification and is able to achieve speeds of up to 40 km per hour as opposed to the documented 28 km per hour. Oh, it's faster, dude.
Twice the speed of the tank originally, and it's got broken tracks.
It's like going on a race and you see somebody using crutches, but they're just faster than you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, how the fuck?
That's freaking bonkers, dude.
Infrared scans have also shown signs of trace heat around where the engine should be located, which are inconsistent with the heat signatures of conventional engine, making SCP-802's primary method of propulsion unknown. SCP-802 is also highly resistant to damage. Wow, okay. You wouldn't have guessed with the way it looks that apparently can take damage as well. Attempts to destroy it have been met with failure, as SCP-802 can take repeated hits from anti-tank weapons and remain operational. While the damage caused only seems to be cosmetic at best, it can successfully drive SCP-802 away temporarily. SCP-802 patrols an area that is roughly 6 square kilometers in the French countryside near Delux-Sponged. Within its territory are mostly urban ruins that are the remains of the town Dill expunged. Records show that the town was was founded in the early 16th century and abandoned in the early 20th century. However, there is no indication of what caused the town's inhibitions to leave. Maybe a tank that just does its own thing. Upon arrival into SCP-802's area of influence, intruders will immediately be shadowed and stalked by SCP-802, which will constantly attack and harass them in any way possible. It is unknown whether SCP-802 has ever left the confines of the ruins. However, it seems to show no interest in attempting to escape and has stayed well within the security perimeters. Okay, this is the last paragraph. We still don't know why it's called a musical tank, though.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Oddly, the strangest aspect of SCP-802 is that music seems to emanate from within its hull. The same music can also occasionally be heard echoing throughout the entire containment area at night. Analysis from eyewitnesses and from recordings has shown that SCP-802 tends to play music from the late 19th and early 20th century. The sound quality of this music, however, is incredibly poor. The music is constantly skipping and stuttering, as if being played on an antique vinyl record player in poor condition. Over 19 distinct songs have been classified, while there remain a number more than analysts have been unable to identify.
Wait, does it like sing Edith Piaf?
It might. It is unknown what exactly caused this phenomenon, but it has been hypothesized that it is a form of psychological warfare meant to unnerve and confuse enemies, though this has not been confirmed. Addendum: due to the over 47 casualties since containment, all recon teams are now to consist of D-class personnel with military backgrounds only. The idea of a tank just like what is a good
Flight of the Valkyries.
And you just turn around like, oh no, he's here. And you see this lone tank in like the far, like 2 kilometer distance, just like.
Some guy pulls out some binoculars. Oh, it's a super mangled up tank. We don't have anything to worry about.
But it's like, sir, it's coming at us fast. How can I gain his speed? Wow. I imagine also just occasionally plays Mozart, just for the hell of it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Gotta say that's my favorite so far from the 3 you read.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Predatory parasols. Don't give one to Princess Peach now. Don't do that. Another Euclid. All blank instances of SCP-803 are to be contained in separate biohazard containment cells at site blank. The specimens are to be filled with radio transmitters set to secure channels. One D-class subject is provided for experimentation in the event of extreme hostility from SCP-803 instances. Description: -1 is a currently undetermined number of autonomous machines resembling small umbrellas, averaging 170 centimeters in width and 150 centimeters in height. An average specimen is almost indistinguishable from a normal umbrella. There are no identifying marks or labels on instances of -1. When unfolded, a large amount of medical equipment is visible on the underside of -1's canopy. These include vials of varying liquids and gases, plastic tubing, syringes, scalpels, various motors, and joints. They look expunged. All specimens possess the ability to retract, disguise, or otherwise hide this equipment, making identification of -1 in the field difficult. All attempts to disassemble or deactivate instances of SCP-803 are forbidden by order of Dr. Blank. See Addendum 1. -2 resemble -1 in almost all respects, except for a greatly increased wingspan of 5 meters. Okay. And a central power system apparently fueled by redacted. -2 serve as carriers for swarms of -1 on rows of metal hooks that replace the medical equipment found in instances of -1. So, my friend, they have a mother umbrella.
Oh, God.
The Queen umbrella.
You just see like a very windy day and a bunch of umbrellas like blow by, and you're like, they really do travel in herds.
Shut the fuck up. It's like that one video, that one Vine where you saw like all the umbrellas of the beach, just like coming off from the sand, just like just flying away. It's just that.
Yep, there you go.
The primary functions of SCP-803 instances appears to be the capture, experimentation, and occasionally dissection. Crossed out.
Dissection. Oh god.
Vivisection of medium to large mammals using the Afrofluff apparatus. Specimens of -2 hunt by either wading in a large open area or by tumbling through the air using natural updrafts and bursts of compressed air emitted from the tips of the canopy. Upon encountering a viable target, the instance will release its flock of -1. Go, my pretties! That's what.
God.
Just the,
oh no.
It's the wicked witch of the East, bro, who will proceed to inject a muscle relaxant into the subject and then experiment upon it. Blank percent of subjects have survived these procedures, which may involve removal and or transplantation of organs, blood, urine, and cerebrospinal fluid sampling, monitoring of did expunged, and may last up to blank minutes. And I see from that the blank minutes, there's 3 boxes of black, so it can be a triple-digit number of minutes.
Jesus.
Surviving subjects report being fully conscious during the experiments, as well as intense pain and feelings of panic. Flocks of SCP-803 comprise of an average of blank, in brackets blank, individuals, and have been sighted in the following locations: Brazil, Japan, Australia. Australia already is being like made fun of for all the dangerous animals they have. Now they have to worry about flock of umbrellas.
Yeah, no kidding.
They already lost the fight against the emus. How they go handle umbrellas that fucking do surgery on you for fun.
Jesus.
Addendum 1. On blank blank 2000 blank, several D-class subjects were ordered by research assistant blank to dismantle an instance of -1 using hammers, saws, and wrenches. When the first D-class attempted to remove the handle, the specimen violently ruptured. 2 of the 3 D-class were injured by a large sharp piece of metal from the instance, inflicting wounds comparable to those caused by crossbow bolts fired at close range. 1 D-class died instantly due to the metal rod entering his skull. The second D-class initially survived but later died of viral infection carried on the needles of the specimen. The third D-class quickly redacted due to the unidentified chemicals within -1, with only 1.2 kilos of biological material being recovered. Research Assistant Blank was severely reprimanded.
Jesus.
Addendum 2. On blank blank 2000 blank, autopsy of a D-class subject captured by -1 instances during the redacted containment breach discovered a small metallic dodecahedron at the top of the spinal column. The purpose of this object is currently unknown. Whew. Well, if it rains, don't take this one. I would say here. There we go. Next one is already the halfway point after this one.
Okay.
World Without Man.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay. It's also
I'm familiar with it.
this is a highly rated one. 711. That's like one of the probably one of the highest one I've seen in quite a while now.
Yeah, if I remember the story or the thing, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, and it's keto. Oh boy. Okay. A step up from Euclid. until such time as SCP-804 is found to be without any memetic effect is to remain in its original location at the former site of blank blank Alaska, where exposure to the elements prevents its reactivation. A 30 meters squared camouflage tarp is to be maintained over SCP-804, and facilities for armed guards and testing are to be maintained 130 meters from its location. Trespassers are to be treated with Class A amnestics and returned to the nearest town of Dödexbuncht, or terminated at the discretion of on-site security. In the event of SCP-804 being approached or seized by a hostile armed force, contingency 804-X is to be executed. Description: SCP-804 is the remains of an art installation titled World Without Man, revealed on blank blank 2000 blank by the defunct artist group Unelmat Paremaster Mailmaster. According to documentation retrieved and deleted from the artist's website during cleanup procedure, SCP-804 was originally in a large, clear globe of the Earth with several smaller globes and video equipment within. Promotional material on the website implied that the globe was to display images of pastoral wilderness untouched by mankind, contrasted with visuals of abandoned human industry and decayed landmarks. Upon activation before a small audience of prominent environmental activists and artists from the nearby community of blank blank, SCP-804 began to display its destructive properties. We can only speculate if the device output was intentional or not, as those involved in its construction perished during the incident or have gone into hiding. While the globes within SCP-804 rotate, all man-made artifacts within approximately 100 meters begin to rapidly deteriorate until completely disintegrated. The effect applies to anything ranging from machinery to buildings, clothing, plastics, synthetic chemical compounds, and any tool more complex than a sharpened stick of wood. Oh, I get it. Because that would be a world without man. Nothing like that would exist if we never existed.
Yeah, it's like a perfect weapon if you want to reset the world.
Don't give Thanos this idea. Perfectly balanced, all things should be. The area of effect grows the longer the device is active, with the effects growing even stronger as its source. Human tissue is also affected at a slower rate of decay, causing victims to become emaciated as they lose body mass, leading up to collapse of the skeleton and death, with the body swiftly breaking down into component matter shortly thereafter. Non-human life is completely unaffected. Persons who escape the area of effect experience symptoms similar to prolonged starvation can return to full health with proper care. Bradley just says, yikes. If not for the fact that it is not entirely immune to its own effect, SCP-804 would have had the potential to remove all trace of humanity from the globe in a matter of weeks. Judging from the observed rate of destruction upon original activation versus its current capabilities under testing, SCP-804 capabilities have been impaired by the damage it caused to itself. However, sustained use still presents an extreme threat, especially if the device is somehow refined or repaired. Due to the circumstances in which SCP-804 was secured, it is strongly believed that the device also possesses some form of mental compulsion on those who view it, but testing is still ongoing to determine if the property has also been compromised by the decay of SCP-804 and how it might be contained. See recovery log for further information, and that's right here. Recovery log, SCP-804, approximately 5 minutes after activation, the effect of SCP-804 reached the nearby community of blank blank. Citizens who were not at the art show initially responded with panic and made several emergency calls. Due to the extreme remote location of the town, the first response was made by a small single-prop aircraft, which arrived about 30 minutes later. Although the plane entered the area of the effect and was quickly lost, the pilot did relay a radio message describing the swift and complete destruction of the town buildings. At this point, the Foundation became aware of the situation and teams of agents were sent to investigate. By the time agents were able to arrive on scene, SCP-804 had been intermittently active for nearly 8 hours, and as a result, the town and everything in a radius of Dödexbuncht was wiped clean of any trace of human civilization. Upon arrival, one plane was immediately affected. Fortunately, the crew was able to make an emergency landing before the physical structure of the plane collapsed around them. Unfortunately, their equipment and clothing was also quickly disintegrated, exposing them to the extreme cold of northern Alaska. As a result, 6 agents had to be treated for hypothermia, but all are expected to return to duty with no lasting effects. How do you recover it then? You can't even get close to it without like all your things disappearing.
Yeah, you get really emancipated.
Yeah.
Well, the effects aren't instant.
Yeah, it takes a bit, but I guess in this moment, because it has been on for like 8 hours, the effect was like going on and on all the time. I just imagine like they just hot potato it, but with cars. They're like driving with one car and another car is like somewhere further away, but like going in the same pace, and then the car slowly starts to disappear, and they're like, quickly, we gotta pass it. And they just another car comes finally around the corner. It's like, give it, quickly give it, and they just throw it inside the window, and then they have to drive on, and then a new car has to arrive, so they just have to like constantly throw between cars, not non-stop.
Oof.
In the meantime, multiple agents just get lost in the street. After recovering the crew of the downed plane, agents set up a perimeter and were able to observe the epicenter of SCP-804's effect. The surviving population of blank blank had crowded around the remains of the device. All subjects observed were severely emaciated and suffering from severe hypothermia. Exposure had only worsened the effect of SCP-804, and many subjects were observed with missing digits and even limbs. The survivors were approaching the device in teams of 2 to 3 to push at the single remaining globe within SCP-804 housing in order to maintain its effect. As each subject eventually succumbed and collapsed onto another form of the crowd of onlookers would shuffle forward to take their place. Survivors seemed to be cheering and encouraging those who were maintaining the device until the turn to push the frosted globe came up. Although such manual operation was not sufficient to maintain even the radius of effect the device had achieved before damaging itself. I see. So it actually is way bigger than what I thought it is in here. I thought it was like I don't know, like a miniature thing that you can hold in your hand.
No, it was like a big art sculpture.
Oh boy. Yeah, and that's gonna take a while to push across it. Is it Alaska? Yeah, Alaska, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna take a bit. Agents were authorized by 05 blank to open fire on the crowd. Although,
Jesus. Kill them all!
Don't let them cheer you on. Kill them.
Jesus.
Although bullets experience the same decay as any other artifact, their velocity was enough to strike lethal wounds before decomposition. When the remaining globe of SCP-804 ceased to spin, the effect ended and agents were able to move in and secure the device. Survivors' attempts to resist but lacked the strength to impede Foundation agents and began to act in disoriented manner once they were removed from SCP-804. With no adequate facilities remaining to provide shelter from them all, many survivors chose to simply lie down in the snow and die, while others attempted to provoke agents into using lethal force upon them. Those who were taken into custody refused to answer any question and were able to refuse enough care that they did not recover from the physical decay. As exposure to the extreme elements of northern Alaska appears to adequately contain SCP-804 by freezing its remaining machinery in place, it was decided to leave the device on site and on the guard along with a ditto expunged, in the unlikely event that the hostile faction attempts to secure the device. Addendum: SCP-804 is not to be contained within any Foundation facilities until it's certain that we will be able to prevent anyone from being compelled to activate or maintain the rotation of the globe. Even after a few minutes of SCP-804's effect could destroy its own containment and seriously compromise any other containment nearby. Contingency 804-X, ditto expunged. Memtic research report, or how do you call this? Memetic? Is that what you said?
Memetic, yeah.
Memetic. Research report revised July 2011 by Dr. Johannes Sorts. This is the third annual review of any supernatural memetic component to SCP-804, and we still have not produced any significant results. It's time to put the controversy on SCP-804's memetic properties to rest once and for all. Yes, SCP-804 possesses memetic properties, and yes, these properties were responsible for driving the survivors of its activation event into sacrificing themselves to maintain the device. But there is nothing especially virulent and or dangerous about SCP-804 memetic properties. Only a few select personality types outlined in the attached report have any desire to reactivate the device. Most notable are the D-class sociopaths who show similar amusement when presented with a big red button that says "kill everything." We've been looking at this all wrong. There is no magical compulsion that could drive so many people to destroy themselves. There does not need to be. Everything we observe during recovery can be explained by mundane group dynamics and human nature. The device has just wiped away all trace of the work and the lives of a reclusive artist and activist community. The buildings crumbled into dust so fast that the people were not even injured in the thin collapse. And at the center of it all, a world without man turned around and around on its increasing rickety platform, offering a deadly premise that had been presented to them as an ideal, a cure for the virus known as humanity. So why did a group of activists throw themselves and the neighbor into the deadly workings of a machine that they thought was going to wipe all human life of Mother Earth? They simply wanted to do it. This is good. This was a good one for sure. I can see why. A world without man. The globe kind of I'm having flashbacks to that one scene from, I forgot which Superman movie that was, where Superman flies around the globe to make it spin the opposite direction, so time
go back in time.
Yeah. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like this reversal of our achievements and technology.
Yeah, it's got stuff to do with, the probably extremists that are like, the world as it is terrible. We're ruining everything by new technology and all this other stuff. And
this world is imperfect. If only I could cleanse it from its impurities and make it as beautiful as me.
Of course.
Alexandrov, you were behind all this. Yes, it was I. My machination were undetected for years. Oh man, yeah. No, it's pretty cool. I like it. And not only that, but like the fact that it's a globe-like art piece just drives it more home. Like this is our world, and you're spinning it, and then like it just reduces all humanity's all of our stuff that we made, and then all you get is stick.
You're left with nothing but stick.
Yes. Poison wood fowl.
Owl. Well, that's
fowl.
Bird.
Fowl? Is that how you say it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Bird.
Oh,
Waterfowl is water bird.
Foal is with the W, right?
Yes. F-O-A-L. Never mind. I have it completely wrong. That's with there's a different. A fowl is a young horse. What I'm thinking is F-O-U. Hold on.
So to create new
W.
tech to cleanse the world.
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking with a W. W is the one that's a bird. A is the young horse.
Okay. So poison wood fowl. I still don't know how to.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's, Google pronunciation, please.
There you go. Google pronounce.
Foal.
It looks like it's well, that's with a W. So unsure if that. Stop in the video.
Want me to look it up?
Full. Okay, it's full. Okay.
Full? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Man, it's another Euclid. We haven't gotten a single save.
Yeah, no, Bradley's right. It's a little bit contradictory. They create a new technology to destroy the old, the other technology.
Yeah, it is true. It was created by the authors, right? It wasn't like just suddenly spawned. Somebody just created it.
Not definitive, but highly likely.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely like they create something new to get rid of the old.
Oh.
But
create something new to get rid of the new too, because new
yeah,
technologies.
exactly. Yeah. The only thing that you can't get rid of is the thing you created. Okay, SCP-805 is to be kept in a stable in Sector Blank. This is to be locked shut at night with at least one guard of level 2 clearance or above stationed at the main door at all times. During daylight, personnel of level 3 clearance or above with adequate equine handling skills are allowed and encouraged to interact with SCP-805, provided they are wearing full body coverings or hazmat suits. Exactly, says Bradley. Yeah, he agrees with us. Or he basically reinforced his statement. Can you imagine you go into a barn and you want to greet, like, you want to just like go to the horses, feed them an apple, and there's just this one guy in a full hazmat suit. It's just like, oh, greetings. SCP-805 is to be treated like a normal young horse and is allowed into the adjoining courtyard for exercise during the day. At this time, samples may be taken from SCP-805 for testing. Staff are reminded that SCP-805 will react to inappropriate treatment like a normal horse, which result in instant data expunged. Any personnel who found to be mistreating SCP-805 will be immediately removed from the area and clearance to SCP-805 revoked. Description: SCP-805 is an assortment of branches and roots twisted in the shape of a young horse, 101.6 centimeter high. Its interior is completely hollow of any organs. However, the subject is mobile, mimicking the movements and instincts of a typical young foal. It is drawn toward human presences, actively seeking contact with skin, and has been reported as being very friendly when approached. It does not require food or water, and there has been no growth recorded since containment in 2000 blank. Scrapings of wood from its frame have revealed it to be of an unknown species related to a poison oak plant, Toxicodendron diversilobum. Upon contact with SCP-805, human skin shows signs of irritation not unlike that caused by poison oak. The skin turns red and begins to itch as small red bumps erupt from the flesh. No remedy prescribed for poison oak will ease the itching or rash. 2 to 3 days after the rash has appeared, the irritation will flare and spread rapidly until the entire surface of the skin is covered. Subjects have reported excruciating pain, both internal and external, with skin beginning to change color between pale brown or green. Movement in the joints becomes stiff and increasingly more difficult. As the internal body pressure rises, blood will be forced out various orifices of the subjects, including the eyes and fingernails. Bone width increases and muscle is absorbed into the widening bones, which thicken rapidly, causing data expunge to the subject's body like that of SCP-805 itself. The transformation has been observed to take 3 to 8 hours, depending on how much more bare skin was infected by SCP-805, each result ending with the subject data expunged. X-rays have shown them to be completely hollow inside. However, it is theorized that the subject may be still aware and conscious, as despite no mobility, pulse, or breathing found post-transformation, the remains have been observed creaking and groaning as if attempting to move. They do not respond to tests with normal stimuli, and most noises appear to occur when in the vicinity of SCP-805. These corpses do not carry the infection of SCP-805 to other humans, but it is still recommended that they are handled with thick gloves to prevent splinters. Remains are to be observed for a time after transformation before being incinerated. Addendum 1, SB-805 was discovered in the blank countryside, with authorities alerting the Foundation after a series of data expunged. SB-805 did not resist capture and containment, but resulted in the deaths of blank staff during this time. Its origin and age are unknown. I immediately had to think of the episode in Pokemon where Ash tries to like pet a is it Ponyta?
Oh yes, the one with fire on his back.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and it doesn't work because it's like you don't have trust.
Or Rapidash is also the evolved form.
Yeah, it's one of the other. I forgot which one he tried to like sit on, but he was like unsuccessful. And now here, this is like the opposite problem because like Rapidash or Ponyta, in that case, didn't like him, but after a while, after liking him, he had the ability to actually sit on the horse without any pain. This is the opposite problem, that this horse is friendly, but you should not touch it at any sake whatsoever. Otherwise, you become like a wooden corpse that's hollow. Okay. Here we go. Gotta put this in the list, the rating list. Definitely up there. Okay, we have Resurrection Projection. Alright. Hey, our first save.
That's refreshing.
Yes. SCP-806 is to be kept sealed in Containment Locker 8 at Biosite 66. Researchers interested in utilizing the item are to contact Dr. Bridge for an interview. -1-A has been given a standard humanoid containment suite at Biosite 66. -1-A is permitted level 0 clearance if supervised by at least one level 1 personnel at all times. -1 may only be created upon explicit written approval by both Dr. Bridge and Dr. Saddleman of Site 66 or O5 approval. Description: SCP-806 is a large modified film projector originally built circa 1900s. The item's lens has been replaced with one constructed of several dozen thin layers of shaped precious stones and as of yet unidentified materials. The original projection bulb has been replaced by an LED array originally built for 35mm film. Most inner mechanisms have been retrofitted with similar components of various complex alloys. This modification also allows for most film sizes to be played. Additional mechanisms have been installed allowing for multiple spools of film to be played through the item without interruption. When active, SCP-806 creates biological material through an unknown process which arranges itself in a manner that creates a nude copy of deceased subjects in the open space before the screen as they were at the time of the last recording used. And there's a whole bunch of footnotes. Note that fictional characters depicted are not restored, only the actor of that character will be recreated. The target appears random, favoring whichever figure has the most on-screen time. Cartoons films have no effect with SCP-806. Matter produced through this effect appear to first manifest as needle-thin rays of light projected from the lens. It creates no shadow or effect on the film just being played, and appears to become biological matter at the point that it touches the forming human subject. Copies created this way are henceforth -1 in order to produce -1 film reels containing recordings of the deceased must be projected onto a silver lenticular cinema screen. Between 13 and 27 hours of recording is required to recreate the subject. At least one individual must be viewing the film through the duration of the phenomenon, or formation will cease and gradually reverse. If the projector is shut down, the instance of -1 will fail, usually dissolving into a mixture of blood and graphite dust. 2 tests wherein the process was intentionally interrupted at the 19th hour led to unfinished physical bodies collapsing onto the floor. The more formed instance succumbed to brain death, while the less complete instance simply died. Finalized instance of -1 lack any color pigment, as if in monochrome. This effect is independent of the colorization of the original source material. Tissue removed from instance will gradually gain color pigment through an unknown process, but decay unusually rapidly and do not survive transportation. Complete instance of -1 usually retain most memory of the past life. Initially, we will believe that they are the original individual. All instances, save for -1-A, die of the cardiac arrest between 70 and 75 hours after final formation. Use of SCP-806 as a means of investigating film-based anomalies is pending review. -1-A and Discovery. -1-A is the first known subject recreated through SCP-806 and the only still surviving individual. -A is a young woman of indeterminate heritage appearing in her early 20s, apparently born in the early to mid 20th century. For an as of yet unknown reason. -1-A appears to be afflicted by a form of dissociative amnesia which prevents her from recalling any personal information regarding her original life, including her own name. No records have yet been found regarding a person of -1-A appearance or general timeline. -1-A was recovered alongside SCP-806 during its initial recovery. Agent Fish, embedded in the local police force, was investigating a call that used had broken into a local theater which had been closed for holidays. There, the agents encountered an unknown male angrily shouting while attempting to gather up SCP-806 and other paraphernalia, and -1-A in a state of confusion and distress. The unknown male escaped Agent Fish and civilian personnel. MTF Alpha 4 Pony Express was called to recover SCP-806, -1-A, and approximately 50 hours of various types of film. The film contained 5.8 seconds of SCP-806-A laughing and saying "I love you," repeating in various states of quality and coloration. I see what happened. Okay. The unknown man wanted to create a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when the girl came out, she didn't feel anything for him.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh boy. Humans, man.
Yeah, some people are weirdos.
Yeah. Maybe if we find that man and ask him if he wants a hug from Fia, maybe that's all he needs.
Yeah, there you go. What's next?
Right next would be 807, heart attack on a plate.
Okay.
Oh, a very short one. Euclid. SCP-807 is to be kept in a locked safe deposit box at Site 19, high value item storage facility. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and memetic, are to be in place at all times according to a standard operation procedure. SCP-807 may be removed from its storage container with proper authorization for experimentation. All personnel working around SCP-807 must be well fed and should wear oral restraints to prevent accidental ingestions. In description, SCP-807 is a salmon-colored ceramic dinner plate 20 centimeters in diameter with the words "Last Chance Diner" printed on the edges in white. A small piece has been chipped out of one edge of the plate, just above the letter D. There are no manufacturer's marks, and to date all efforts to find the restaurant in question have failed. SCP-807 transmutes any food served upon it into a variation of its original form, with high concentration of fat, sodium, and cholesterol. Once transmuted, the food in question is enhanced in flavor and aroma to preternatural levels, to the point where the desire to consume said food becomes nearly irresistible. Anyone who does consume said food, however, will undergo cardiac arrest within 5 minutes of finishing their meal, due to sudden and massive fatty buildup in the major arteries. In some cases, immediate bypass surgery has been shown to be effective in saving the life of a subject. Addendum A, recorded transportation. Cucumber sandwich made with fresh cucumbers, white bread, and 2 cc butter. Fried egg sandwich. Vegetarian patty with fresh lettuce, tomato, and onion with 4 cc ketchup, 4 cc mustard, and 2 slices of dill pickle on a whole wheat bun. Luther burgers served on 2 Krispy Kreme donuts with 3 beef patties consisting of a total of 0.5 kilograms of beef, served with lettuce, tomato, onion, 8 cc ketchup, 8 cc mayonnaise, and 8 cc mustard with a fried dill pickle on the side. Luther burger data expunged. Further testing of high fat foods with SB807 has been suspended due to a high number of casualties.
Jesus.
Well, it's kind of like the succubus of food, man. Like you get like that one absolutely delicious meal, but then you die.
You can speed run obesity.
just one meal, and you get it all, and then perish.
Yep.
Okay, let me just do this real quick. There we go. All right, last 2 ones. Oh, what is this? The Mechanical Choir.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, you also know this one?
I also know this one, yep.
Okay. Euclid. SCP-808 is currently unable to be moved from its original location. As such, Armed Containment Site 27 has been built around the area in which it was found. Both ones that you know cannot be moved.
Yeah, a bit hazardous, yeah.
Yeah. Bradley says they forgot Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, it's true. That is a key component in the best burger patty recipe. This is a good point.
I now imagine Bradley going to this foundation and be like, "This is not a good test. You forgot the Worcestershire sauce."
No, that's like if you want to make a good hamburger patty, you use Worcester sauce in it. Very good stuff.
Oh man. SCP-808 is contained within a 6 meter by 7 meter by 17 centimeter containment tank. Unit is constructed from 10 centimeter thick walls of polyvinyl chloride (PVC) covered by 25 centimeter thick acoustic foam. Furthermore, wooden sound dampeners are constructed 3 meters from the container to further insulate the object. These dampeners are susceptible to regular degradation and as such are to be replaced by Class D personnel. SCP-808 housing areas, Area 808-A is currently set with blank explosive charges. The public cover story is that the property has been purchased by the military as a training area, allowing for complete destruction of the object if required. Bearing maintenance, a 30-meter buffer zone is to be maintained around the object at all times. And chili sauce, he says.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, gives it a little bit of kick.
Add an extra kick to it. I never had chili sauce.
Chili sauce? Like what kind? You mean like tobacco? There's a lot of different kinds of chili sauce.
I guess I don't think I ever had any chili sauce in my life.
I mean, like there's the real famous one that you can find at like pretty much any Chinese food in the USA. It's got like a rooster on it. Hold on. I'll look this up. What the fuck is it called? Here. Typically used in Asian foods.
Oh, like yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can find it like at pretty much any.
I don't know why.
Chinese food and
When
restaurant.
I thought of chili sauce, I thought of chili dog, like the food that Sonic eats.
Oh, chili dogs. I had quite a few when I was in the U.S.
How have you had not chili sauce? Like, yeah, no, I had chili sauce. I thought of like the fucking like chili dog, like the real like the thick.
Yeah. No, chili sauce is a foreign thing in Europe.
It's a foreign thing. We don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I get that. My mind does that well. Yeah, like.
Totally
Actually,
foreign.
totally foot as if.
It's like you know, like driving on the other side of the road. Same difference.
Same difference. Once monthly, SCP-808 tank is to be opened and main body is to be inspected. By the way, Meta, welcome. I love how the only time you comment on this whole stream is when I say I don't have chili sauce. Yeah, no, I remember, dude. I remember. My brain just went somewhere completely else. Once monthly, SCP-808 tank is to be opened and the main body is to be inspected for degradation. If sufficiently degraded, a diluted phosphoric acid spray is to be applied, then the object is to be power washed and coated with further wood-proofing agents. Machinery originally found within the structure has been removed to a storage area 250 meters to the southwest. In the event that any unconnected machinery in the vicinity of SCP-808 begins to operate, all personnel to evacuate to evac point Beta. As a precaution to repel invaders, automated motion-sensitive flame-based defensive installations around the object will activate in the event of a site lockdown. Description: SCP-808 is a mechanical construct standing approximately 16 meters tall, with a base approximately 5 by 6 meters, 30 meters squared in area. The subject is roughly cylindrical in shape, the upper 3 meters tapering into to a point. SCP-808 seems to be built primarily of steel and iron with several smaller brass fittings. Randomly placed lengths of cable and chain are attached to haphazardly to the lower area, with the majority of the machine constructed of steel beams and gears in simple clockwork patterns. Components seem to have been taken from various industrial machinery, with no single source. The machinery forming SCP-808 runs constantly with a low grind, despite no apparent power source. An inner portion of SCP-808 taken during initial investigation, each portion of this segment was moving with slow but consistent motion. The uppermost portion of SCP-808 is constructed in a somewhat humanoid form. This portion is covered in grey carpeting and a white wedding dress, giving it a soft, somewhat feminine appearance. The effigy possesses 4 limbs, the upper limbs appearing somewhat vestigial, and the lower limbs apparently taken from the mannequin. The face seems to be a speaker system, possibly constructed of copper. While SCP-808 runs, a high-pitched whine is emitted from the humanoid construct. As SCP-808 structure degrades through rusting or is tampered with, example attempts to disassemble the objects or through application of force, this noise volume will increase dramatically. This noise will automatically tune to frequencies capable of causing local metals to resonate. After growing loud enough, approximately 70 decibels, non-electronic components of machinery affected by this resonance will spontaneously activate. This anomalous activity will cease once rust has been removed from SCP-808. No psychological effects have appeared in those exposed to the sound. Direct damage to the humanoid construct has caused it to emit an approximately 1 blank decibel scream, killing 2 and deafening blank personnel on site, as well as causing extensive property damage. No further attempts to deconstruct or destroy SCP-808 are to be taken except in large emergencies. And here we have a picture of the humanoid portion of SCP-808 against its PVC containment tank. I'm going to actually have a closer look at that. I kind of want this as a as like a, you know that Pinocchio game that's coming out, Alex?
Oh yeah, like kind of Bloodborne-esque thing.
Yeah. I can see this as like a potential villain or opponent, or just like
yeah, some kind of gothic Victorian machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That game looks awesome though. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
A game where you if you tell the truth or lie will influence the game itself.
Of course.
Yes. Recovery log SCP-80 doesn't look that menacing. I mean, this doesn't. I guess the only menacing part about it is how loud it can scream, because it can definitely cause massive damage to your ears. SCP-808 is located within an abandoned factory in blank blank France. An agent embedded as a local city worker heard rumors of a constant screech in a local countryside and called in a small investigation. Upon discovery of SCP-808 within its structure, the 4 present agents were assaulted by a group of civilians killed by agents in self-defense. Investigation of the structure revealed a sect dedicated to the Church of Broken God. I think I read this many. Yeah. The sect of Broken Gods. They crazy people.
Yep.
Blank associated members of the sect were captured and taken into Foundation custody. Documents and paraphernalia retrieved from civilian residences revealed that SCP-808 had been under construction for approximately 7 months and remains unfinished after being acquired by the Foundation. Documentation revealed that SCP-808 was intended to be a musician of sorts in preparation for the eventual return of the Broken God. Associated civilians have since been terminated under the guise of an attack by a mundane terrorist cell. Security for location redacted has been increased. Addendum. Note from Dr. Bridge. Judging by the main structure, I'd say that it was... Wait. Judging by the main structure, I'd say that it was intended to be mobile. It has bits that look like the beginning of legs, wheels as well. It's quite concerning that something the size of SCP-808 has been built outside our knowledge. However, I find it more disturbing that a cult of Broken God grew this large without alerting the Foundation. In light of this recent growth, I recommend increasing surveillance of known church activities. Okay. He just wants to sing. Except that
is the herald of the god. The broken god.
The broken god. There we go. Actually, let me put this right here. Last one for today. Okay. It's combat boots. And it's a decent short one. Alex, why do you have to say herald?
Why?
It sounds too close to to harlot. And now I'm thinking of that fucking video you sent me yesterday.
Oh.
You harlot! You will do unspeakable acts upon my body, like spooning. Oh my god.
Spooning, man.
Spooning.
Terrible.
The absolute unspeakable act. Alright, the last one, and it's safe. SCP-809 is to be kept in a secure storage locker inside 19. No additional security beyond a standard keypad lock is necessary for containment. A room outfitted with monitoring equipment and 4-point restraints is recommended for testing on unwilling subjects. As of blank blank 2000 blank, please contact Agent blank to confirm availability of SCP-809. Description: SCP-809 is a heavily stained and worn pair of leather boots, designated -1 and -2 for the left and right boot respectively. Forensic analysis of the boot confirms that the stains are composed of clay-rich soil and human blood. The design of SCP-809 is consistent with those of the boots worn by French infantry in the last year of World War I. SCP-809 was discovered by Foundation personnel in the attic of an abandoned building in blank France. Investigations confirmed that the building was used as a field hospital from 1915 to 1917. SCP-809 is activated by a subject donning both boots and closing his or her eyes for 5 to 10 seconds. I want to go back to Kansas.
There's no place like home.
It's no place like home. It's no place like home. Upon activation, subjects experience a vision from the point of view of a French corporal in battle. Hey, they stole your idea, Alex.
Wait, what?
They stole your ring thing that we had to experience in the last D&D.
God damn it.
Doctors Blank and Blank, both amateur military historians, have identified the setting as one of the innumerable trenches dug along the French-German border during the war. For the duration, the vision is perceived as reality. Note that the subject needs to be willing or conscious. Activation may be achieved under sedation as long as the subject's eyes are closed. While minor details differ through separate tests, the general outline of each vision remains constant. Subject relieved the experience of a French infantryman being stabbed repeatedly through the abdomen by the bayonet of a German soldier, followed by approximately 7 hours lying in the bottom of the trench before expiring from blood loss and trauma to various internal organs. Upon death in the visions, the subject will awaken. To an outside observer, the entire experience lasts only 40 to 60 seconds. SCP-809 has been confirmed to induce severe post-traumatic stress disorder in 80% of subjects upon the first use, 95% of subjects upon the second use, and 100% of subjects after 3 or more uses. Hey, you know how I
have PTSD too. I had an experience being stabbed to death.
Like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And just like bleeding out.
yeah, just multiple hours of just lying down. They're like, and then the fucking Foundation just goes like, you want to do that again? You want to experience?
You want to go again?
You want to go again? It's like, no, I really don't. Well, too bad. Put them boots on. Data collection is ongoing, but preliminary results will consistently indicate permanent insanity after 5 to 7 users. God, who the fuck?
What if we put him on a 4th time?
Like, come on, just let's see what happens if we do 6 times.
Sure.
Yeah, great. Class A amnestics are available upon request to personnel with level 1 security clearance or higher who have been volunteered for testing. Addendum. Those with level 2 security clearance should see document dash A, and here's document dash A, as of 2000 blank. Ownership of primary access privileges to SCP-809 has been given to Agent Blank for use in interrogation of suspected TOC and ORIA agents. Repeated application of SCP-809 has proven to be both more cost-effective and less likely to result in accidental death than traditional methods of enhanced interrogation.
We're gonna use psychological torture.
Alright.
Oh, sure, what are you gonna do? Play music? No, you're gonna put on these boots.
You're gonna put on these boots, boy.
No.
Okay. It's a weird thing to do. I'm getting stabbed! Takes the boots off. How was it? What the fuck? You want me to put them on again? No, please! Oh my god. Alright, that's the SCPs, and now I can show you the list of the SCPs of how much I enjoyed them. So, War Without Man, gotta say, top. That was definitely a very strong one. That was definitely a very good one. I like the design. I like the story behind it. Musical Tank is just such a hilarious concept to me.
That one is pretty good.
The idea of you being on an open field, they did say 15 kilometers, and you just like, I don't know, have a small little bit of a picnic in a field. And next thing you hear is exactly what you just did, the Valkyrie one.
Yeah.
And you just turn around, and you see this tank that's absolutely battered and crappy, but it's like double the speed of the same tank type, just like coming at you. Poison Woodfall. I feel like I imagine like how the horse would look like, and I think like I saw like a lot of like fan art of like horses that are imbued with the elements like fire, water, earth. So since I already seen that, I imagine how like the earth one looked like, and it's less like the earth as in like the dirt, and more like branches and all that. And I think that I think like
Have you seen the movie Annihilation?
I did not.
There's like a deer that's kind of similar.
Okay. Okay.
Kinda, not totally, but kind of similar.
Okay. The mechanical choir. Yeah, I mean, a tall, four-armed lady that screams. If it becomes rusty, like please stop these, and you're like, oh shit, gosh, stop it! It's like the most brutal alarm clock. Heart attack on a plate. I mean, if you want to go out having the last best meal of your life, that one just does it. But you just need to add Worcestershire sauce. 7 furs. They really like describe the pain that the people go through with when they become an animal. It's not as simple as just like, oh, you just transform and you are it now and you're just stuck like that. No, you vomit, your bones crack, and you like everything's just it feels like burning. It feels like your heart's being ripped out and so on. It's just a bad time. But the fact that it's such a bad time is what makes it fascinating to me. Resurrection projection. I think like I saw a Twilight Zone episode that was like a similar thing, but it was like the opposite. It was a lady who was an actress who she has gotten older and she misses the day of being an actress and being seen as beautiful and gorgeous and young and elegant. So she constantly watches her own older films and wishes to be back in those days. And even as she saw the same actor who played the romantic lead, she was in shock because he also got old, and she just didn't like it. It's just she was living in her own world where she just was the same age as she used to be, and it led to her somehow being able to jump into the film itself and like live eternally as her young self. But in this case, instead of somebody wanting to be in a movie, the person in the movie comes to our world. Combat boots. I mean,
there's not much to it. It's like you wanna experience PTSD real quick.
put those boots
Put on
on.
these boots.
Yeah, it's not much to it, but like I just think it's funny how they literally force somebody to like wear those boots 7 times.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
like I always say that almost every stream, like I understand that the Foundation doesn't really care much about the D-class because the D-class are all like criminals that they picked out from prisons and like, oh, you want a life sentence shortened, and they're like, that's a lie. And most of the criminals are like hardcore, like rapists, murderers, sociopaths, psychopaths, and all that stuff. But sometimes I feel so bad for the D-class when in the Foundation, the agents or the doctors are like, yeah, remember when we made you wear boots that you experienced getting stabbed? You go with us again today. And then tomorrow again. And then Wednesday again. Maybe every day this week. We want to see how far we can push it. Then we have predatory parasols. Just a bunch of umbrellas that just want to play. What is that game? Remember what the game was called, Alex? That surgery game where like you had like some tongs and like there were forms of different items inside the body, and you had to like carefully pick it out, otherwise it would like buzz.
Oof. Oh god, what is that? Yeah, and it shocks or buzzes the guy's nose.
Yeah, it's like zzz.
Is it called Operation? I think it's just Operation.
It's just Operation. Yeah, basically a bunch of umbrellas playing Operation on a body, but you know he's alive, so he gets to feel all of it.
Yeah, it's just called Operation.
Yeah, it's creative.
Well, yeah. Says what it does.
And then last but not least, an Eastern history, a scroll that changes itself to represent conflict happening in Asia that you can influence to a certain extent.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
All right, that's all 10. Whew. So now I will just tell you guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. This one was probably one of the fastest SCP reading I had. It was like an hour and 40 minutes. Usually they go around for like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So like this was definitely very quick. This Wednesday will be Dying Light with Lexi again. We will continue with the story mission. Then Thursday, Friday should be... Alex, do we have D&D this Friday?
No, it's on D&D's on hold for now. I'm kind of busy with a lot of things.
Gotcha. Operation Childhood Trauma creeping back.
Oh no.
Okay, then this Thursday, Friday, Dream Daddy. We will start Damien. And then Saturday, Sunday will be SCP 810s, excuse me, and the 820s. So, once again, I'm going to now go to the ending soon. I hope you all enjoyed today's SCP reading. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And, Alex, you want to add anything?
Praise be the Elden Ring!
Praise be the Elden Ring. The Afro is with you all. Bye.